Yo,
Yo, yo.
about to have this topic, man.
So, you know, what do you think about it, though?
Uh, it's gonna be interesting, to say the least.
Oh, you know this, man. You know this. Just think about
Um,
all the people around the world that do that.
yeah, and I don't, honestly, I don't think that we got to have an adult conversation. We do this right.
Yeah. It's got to be a adult conversation, These type of things that you handle delicately.
Yeah.
That money clip us now, the new now looks like. Whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I hit record it, drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finish.
What's up? Hey, I think I'm digging that intro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Shouts out to our creator behind the scenes that hooked that up for us. And that will
Um,
be the one and only Mr. How shall I say? The king himself.
yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
Soul Toucher the poet. My man put his damn whole body off into that intro. So once again, shouts out to the king and the creator. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes. Much love, much thanks, much praises to my brother, son Solex. But yo, to get into it, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fun topic, uh, and we are going to make this. I don't even know how to say it. We're not gonna
Adult
make this an
like.
awkward talking. That's
We're
that's
gonna keep this adult like.
yeah. We're not gonna make it awkward, but we're going to have fun because this is a pretty much serious topic.
It is.
Um,
It is. Wait a minute.
and
Was this one of the fan requested topics?
yes, indeed, this is a
Okay.
fan requested topic. So look here, when you send us these topics, hey, we're gonna bring them to life. We're gonna bring them to life. So
Yes, sir.
keep submitting your topics.
By all means.
But once again, it's the King and I Life podcast hosted by myself, Soul Toucher the Poet, and my family.
Son Soul X up in here.
Phoenix is somewhere. She is somewhere. She is somewhere. But yo, check it out. As you saw on the intro video, we are on all of those podcast platforms. We are all on those social media platforms. So definitely like, subscribe, and share, son. So let's go ahead and hit them with the other part that ain't even in
Hey
the intro
man, if
video.
you guys want to come on the show, if you have again interesting topic ideas like the one that we're going to be talking about tonight,
Yes.
please by all means send them in to KINGANDEYE369 at gmail.com. Again, that's King and I 369 gmail.com. That's what's up.
And don't be shy. Don't be shy. Nothing is off the table. As long as it's within, you know, as long as we can present it in good taste to
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
That is the key. We want to present topics in good taste, no matter what it is. Um, yeah. But anyway,
So
uh, before we get into it, I want y'all to definitely tune in next week because we have Miss Tina Torres joining us. She did that events LLC down in Columbia, South Carolina. She's going to talk about community advocacy and domestic violence awareness. So definitely tune in with us on that next week.
yes, definitely. That's gonna be a good show.
Yes, it is. Important show. Very important. Um, but without further ado, today's discussion. Let's talk about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, the benefits, the stigmas, and the side effects of masturbation.
Is masturbation healthy? Um, so jumping into this, when I first threw this topic at you, from our faithful audience, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
Really? I gotta keep this off of my Facebook page.
Really?
Because I know my elder generation, when they see that, oh man, they're gonna blow my dang phone up. So uh, that was the initial thought. But anyway, the second thought was yes, this is definitely going to be an interesting topic to have.
Yeah. Um,
How about you?
Speaking about, well, okay, so when when it first came, I was like, what? Like, how are we gonna pull that off? Like, can we be serious about that? And I was like, we're adults.
Right?
We understand this, but I was like, how can we present this in a way that's lighthearted, serious, funny, and at the same time engaging?
Right.
So I shot the topic over to our esteemed researcher and preparer, and she done a great job with the talking points, I must say.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Shouts out to her for sure.
Yes. So okay, now getting back to what you said about the older generation, and they're gonna be blowing your phone up.
Hmm.
The funny thing about this is kind of like a taboo topic
It
in
is.
certain arenas. Um, it's pretty much a taboo topic through every age span. But the thing about it is, nobody is immune to masturbation,
No,
and
no, by no means.
and there are a lot of myths out there. There's a lot of things about it out there that people just don't want to talk about. But so we're going to tackle this topic, and again, we're going to have fun with it, but we're going to really have this. We're going to have this conversation because here's the thing that came to my mind today when I was prepping. Getting my mind ready for it.
Hmm.
We have children,
That we do.
and a lot of people have children. So the one thing that we have to keep in mind when it comes to masturbation is we've done it, our parents done it, and our children have done it or will do it.
I mean, the thing about it is, let's be real about it. For those few seconds, it sure feels good. It sure feels good for
he
those few
said
seconds.
he said a few
A
seconds.
few seconds, because that's what it is. It's like
Oh Lord.
when you are in that mental space, um, you are thinking about either a person or a memory that you may have shared with a person. Um, Again, not to feel anybody that go outside of that, but I like women, females, things along that nature. But
Mhm.
anyway, I don't know. I just think that it's something that as a teenager, me and my boys used to talk about it all the time. Like,
Really?
yeah, like,
Get
you
out of
know,
here. Nah.
it wasn't a shy topic because we all were at that same stage in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had so and so and so and so, this is what I do. But hey, sometimes you just got to use your imagination, as they say.
Mm. Uh I don't know. Um I didn't talk about it too much with my homies growing up. That was one of those things that um yeah, nah. Nah. That was one of them things that wasn't even a conversation at middle school and high school years. That just we wasn't talking about that. That was one of them things that if you did it and you was at home, you would hope nobody would bust in your room.
Oh man, Have you ever been caught masturbating though?
So before we get into our first talking point, yes, I was caught. Yes, I was very young. And
All
I'm going
right.
to share the story.
Okay.
So, listeners out there, listen. I think I was in elementary school. And the crazy thing about it is growing up in the environment that I grew up, I was uh what's the word? I sex, drugs, and rock and roll was in my face. So I grew up around the stuff. So what I did one time, what I did, we was at somebody's house
Uh-huh.
and it was me and this girl. We was in the room. I took a pillow, took a crayon, drew some breasts on it, drew a triangle on it, which represented the vagina, and I was humping the pillow. She, on the other hand,
Uh-huh.
drew whatever she drew on her pillow.
Hmm.
We proceeded to hump the pillows. And lo and behold, boom, the door busts open.
Uh-huh.
What the hell are y'all doing? And it's like, can't say nothing, can't do nothing. So, back in the day, it's like when you get in trouble, it's, hey, come see what they doing.
Yeah. They finna bring a crowd in. Please believe that.
We had about 4 or 5 adults. And they was like, go ahead and hump them pillows. Do it harder. Do it harder. Do it harder. Do you know that was one of the most embarrassing moments in my entire life?
Oh my
My
goodness.
entire life. We lived in Victorville, California. Stepfather was in the Air Force. And so trust me, I remember that vividly. I will never ever forget that. It's funny as hell today, but when that happened then, look, if I would have knew the expression "my life was over," that was my expression there. So that's the first time I ever got caught. Yeah.
My story isn't that complex, but I did get caught, and it was by an adult, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Really?
I didn't get a spanking, but I got one of them. Boy, what the hell are you doing?
That had to be your mom. Had to be moms. We don't know how to react to that. What in the world is going on in here? You know what? I'm just gonna close the door. I don't. When you finish, you come see me, okay? Because I got nothing. As a mom to walk in on a son, I got nothing.
That was
Absolutely.
very awkward at dinner time.
I bet it was because you know her. You know, in her mind, she was like, his little nasty ass. He gonna eat his food with them nasty little fingers of his. That was what I would be thinking as a mom. I didn't. Let me say this. I didn't learn how to do that until I got married the first time. My then husband taught me how to do that. And I don't even think he realized he was teaching me something that I didn't know how to do. So no, I didn't do that growing up. I didn't. For one, I grew up in a house full of people, so there was never any really alone time to be trying to explore anything. And for two, growing up in the South with older siblings, cousins, uncles, aunts, they used to tell us, "Oh, I'll know when you do something sexual that you're not supposed to do. I'm gonna know." the fear of sex that I had growing up, any form of it, was a no. I just don't want it. It can't be that good. It can't be good enough for me to deal with these people. No.
Wow. Okay. We all have our our groundbreaking experiences, then.
Yeah. No.
Oh
So,
man.
All right.
what is masturbation by definition? Your own
Oh,
personal definition of it.
shoot. I mean, my definition of masturbation, because there are two types of masturbation: is physical and mental.
Right.
Um, my definition of physical masturbation is pretty much in line with the actual definition of masturbation. That is, touching, rubbing yourself for, pleasure. That's just what it is. And mental masturbation, by definition, is intellectually stimulating conversation with little or no practical purpose, thought process that serves oneself. To me, mental masturbation is thinking about thoughts that give you that feeling of sexual desire. And if you are in touch with yourself, like really, and you know yourself, you can have a an orgasm that is not physically motivated. That's how I define those two.
All right.
Okay.
Miss Phoenix.
My definition for masturbation is stress relief. Literally, it's what it is for me. There's no deep meaning or anything. It is purely sex. Sex is it just it's a mental thing. But mostly it's I'm tired, but I can't go to sleep. Let me beat one out real quick. Sleep like a baby. It's just, you
Yeah.
know what? I had a long day and they got on my nerves today. Know what I'm doing when I get home? Have me a glass of wine and some me time. It's literally a stress relief for me. When I hear masturbation, I'd be like, oh, they was stressed the hell out. They needed that. This is what I hear. Literally, that's what when you say it to me, I'll be like, it had a badass day. Oh, well. I literally don't do it because, I'm horny, or, I do it to go to sleep, and I do it to relieve stress. That's it.
Mm. That's
Okay.
interesting.
Okay.
So my brother, what's your definition of masturbation?
Exactly.
I'm gonna say self-love and self-care.
Okay. We putting some deeper
Because
meanings on it.
you care
Oh,
enough for yourself to love yourself to get one off
hmm
and take your
hmm
ass to sleep.
See,
That's my definition.
technically,
That
it's stress relief, and
yeah.
instead of melatonin, is masturbation. Right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Masturbation toning.
It's enough to share your love with yourself.
Oh my
Hello.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Just
Oh my
saying.
goodness.
I'm just saying.
Mm.
But from the mental aspect of it, I heard one older gentleman say that for him, and this is, of course, a group of grown men talking about sex and masturbation and everything that goes along with that. But he said the reason he doesn't masturbate is because he feels like he's participating in raping himself.
I've heard that so
And
many
I'm
times.
looking at
Yeah.
him like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. But anyway, because the thing about me is, how can you even look at it like that? You raping yourself. I mean,
I don't know. I think they
if
got a mental problem, people that look at it
yeah,
like
because
that.
it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
wait a minute now. There's you and you pleasing yourself. So
Mm.
is your left hand fighting your right hand while you're doing it, or
Mm.
Are you telling yourself no and you just touching yourself anyway? You got a problem.
Right. Yeah.
You have a
That whole
problem.
concept. You know, back in
I
the
said
day.
no, but my hands kept going. The hell?
Stop touching me. Um,
no,
I
don't
get
do
it.
that. Don't.
I get it. Back then, me gets it. I thought it was odd to hear that because, like, how do you rape yourself? And then as an adult, it's like, That's a ridiculous concept. Like let's be smart about what we're saying out of our mouths when it comes to something like that, because I, unless you clone yourself in that moment, I don't see how you can rape yourself. But that's just, maybe I'm old fashioned. I don't know.
I don't know. My, um. So yeah, I've never understood the whole masturbation is the equivalent of you raping yourself, and I'm just like, really and truly, do we really know what rape means?
Right.
Like when we say stuff like that, I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, I guarantee you, if you ask a rape victim what it's like to be raped, it's gonna sound nothing like masturbation. I think
Not at
it's
all.
callous to say that. I really do. Rape is such a serious, heinous act. And I ain't being heinous touching myself. And like I said, I ain't telling myself no. So
I needs
it's not a
that.
it's not a forced situation. I think it's so wrong for people to associate those two things. I think it's very, very wrong.
Yeah.
True. I would agree with that.
Um,
Awkward pause.
No,
yeah, that was
I didn't want to break
mm-mm,
anyone's train of thoughts. But anyway,
you're
do you
good.
think everyone shares the same definition? Um, is there a bias?
Phoenix.
I
Meaning
don't
men and women, to give you a little more information.
I don't think that a majority of women I know in relationships have a problem with their partner masturbating. I have yet to meet a man in a relationship that has a problem with their woman masturbating. So I'm going to say, in most cases, it's not viewed the same between a man and a woman, just because of uh, what I've experienced. For me, it's the same. Get yours. If I'm unavailable, knock yourself out, partner. Or if I'm available and you need to beat that one first, then do that. I mean, whatever floats your boat. Again, because there's different definitions in different people's head. Um, like I said, it's not a pleasure. It's not a for pleasure thing. It's for me myself personally. Um, it's literally a means to relieve some stress. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have a very capable partner. It means I don't want to deal with the emotions that go with that.
Ooh,
I just
ouch.
I just want to, yeah,
Are
you
you
know,
okay?
no, just, I'm just saying. I, and another thing is, I don't think there's a bias. I think everybody is pretty much okay with it, except for the people we were just talking about who consider it a rape thing, and then yeah, that's a whole different horse. I think everybody pretty much has the same definition as this is me time, and I need it, whether you hear or not. I just need it. So sometimes, we working on things, but you still don't touch me the way I need to, and that's another thing. Masturbation. Exactly. You can make it last as however long you want, or it can be real quick. Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Let's go to bed.
Mm.
It's just so you, son.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I
Boy, you
mean
look real apprehensive about this.
that's just what it is. I mean, again, just to piggyback off of that, you can make it last as long as you want to, or go and get it over with, take your ass to sleep. Um, as far as there being a bias in between men and women, I don't really feel there is one. Again, I think it comes down to each individual as far as like exactly what the hell turns you on.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mentally, you can go to a space and see exactly in your mind's eye what it is that
Hmm.
turns you on.
Exactly.
And I
And it might not be your partner.
it might not. It might not. That's a very fair assessment. But I have not ever heard of anyone masturbating with their eyes open. You do. Wow.
Yes,
I
sir.
have to have my eyes closed
Sometimes I
because
do,
I'm
sometimes I
gone.
don't.
Wait.
Um,
What did I just miss?
Someone
Masturbating with
masturbating with
their
their eyes open.
right. And I I do sometimes. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. But I can see what I need to see with my eyes wide open. I can literally do it sitting in the movie theater with the lights on around 1,000 people, and they never know what I was doing. And that's another thing. I don't have to use my hands to masturbate at all.
Okay. Now
What
let me
technique
answer
is
that.
that?
Wait.
Let me
Let
look
me
that
answer this
up.
question before we go off in
Wait,
the la la
wait a
land.
minute. What's that called?
No,
Wait a minute now. Is
we're
that
not
some
going to do
Kama
this right
Sutra
now.
type shit? What is that?
No, wait.
It's
We're not going to do that
Me
right
and you
now.
gonna
Yep.
we gonna
We
talk.
call it.
We're gonna talk. I got
All right.
So, yeah. Well, wait a minute. I think overall everyone shares the same definition when it comes to masturbation. Although like things were saying, people's heads they want to call it this, that, and other. But overall, I think people share the same definition. Is there a bias?
Definitely.
I believe there are a lot of biases out there between cultural backgrounds, religious backgrounds, age differences, time periods. Um, but I think those biases are largely out of ignorance and self-induced because they want to go along with the crowd. So to me, those biases are unrealistic. Unless it depends on the culture that you're from. That's my take on that. Now, go ahead and
Okay.
finish what you were saying because I totally understand and agree with you.
I
Who?
mean,
Which one of us?
You Phoenix, when you was
About?
talking,
Oh,
not using your hand because that's part of our in our conversation later on. But go ahead because I know you have some stuff you got to do.
yeah, I want to hear about this.
so when I was first introduced to it, I was asked, "Do you not know how to mind fuck?" And I was like, "Huh?" And it was, you should be able to get yourself to where you need to go without any manual manipulation. You have the power using your mind to get there. And it took me about 2 years to learn, but I learned. And it's just literally about meditating on that feeling. Now, what I will say is sometimes I might have to squeeze my legs a little tighter,
Mm-hmm.
but I do not have to use any hands or toys or anything like that. I can literally take my mind way, way, way down the stream and get there. Like, it don't take me long. I've gotten to the point where it really don't take me long. Like, literally have done it driving home from work. Literally, be like, "Whoo, this little left leg is jumping. Let me get my mind right." But it's just it took me, like I said, about 2 years to learn. But it was a practice all the time. But it was a Karma Sutra book that I wound up
Mm-hmm.
getting and studying on what I need to do, and then I did tantra. That tantric, that took me there.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get there, once you can apply those techniques and open your mind to it, ain't nothing to it. But I am a woman. I am not a man. What goes on with y'all when y'all finish masturbating is something totally different. I don't know if
Yeah.
you want to be able to do that because y'all be running around here sticky.
Mm, yeah. And we can't just throw on a panty liner and call it a day.
Right,
Uh,
right.
although 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 I was in Walmart just the other day and they actually have those for men. So yeah,
Are
Huh?
you serious?
I'm dead serious.
I'm gonna
But
need them to stop.
we're gonna move on with the conversation.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah. I'm
That's a
not gonna
different
go
one.
there with
That's
him.
for a
Not
different day.
gonna go
Yeah.
there. It's all right. We good.
So masturbation alone or or with a partner.
Whatever floats your boat.
Uh, I prefer by myself. I did have a female girlfriend where she would like to watch me pleasure myself, and then she would join in. For
Mm-hmm.
some reason, it got her hot.
Mm.
I don't know
It's
why,
most
but
women.
hey, whatever.
It's
If
most women.
get you hotter than a 38, let's do it.
A
Mm.
stolen one at that. They've been using three murders. Tell you that right now. Stolen,
Oh
used in three
man.
murders hot.
Mm.
um, It doesn't matter for me. Uh, what I will say is I don't like for my partner to touch me, to try and do it for me. I don't like for my partner to manually try to manipulate um me and in it. I
Mm,
don't like it. So I prefer, if we gonna do it, you lay over there and you touch you, and I'm gonna lay over here and touch me. If it's a joint thing. Other than that, whatever. I really prefer alone. I really do prefer alone.
but to to that, wouldn't that be a sort of s- okay? So are you saying that you don't like that particular part of foreplay because masturbation goes with foreplay? So it's like, you
Correct.
know, so that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't like that part of. I
Okay.
literally skip over that part. Don't do that.
Okay.
You can bury your face down there, but don't put your hands down there.
So for me, when it comes to this part, I'm gonna fight y'all. Um, for me, when it comes to this, I prefer, man. If y'all don't, I'm trying to talk.
Okay,
You
slide,
started it.
slide.
You
Word.
No, but it
started
was
it,
a
so
no,
toucher.
no, but it was a serious conversation because technically masturbation in with your partner is a part of foreplay. And a lot of people say, oh, I want foreplay. And it's like, okay, well, going off of what you said, which I completely understand, because there are a lot of women out there who feel that way. When it comes to foreplay, it's like, well, if you don't want me to put my hand down there and stimulate you in that way, but it's okay for me to put my face down there and stimulate you that way, it's like, well, that kind of like, I think it's a problem for individuals who have a set in stone game plan for foreplay. Like if their foreplay says, I'm going to kiss you here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and and your thing is you can do everything except for those two or three things. You can't do that. For people who are that messes them up if they're not mature enough to understand the dynamics of foreplay.
So for me, and I'm only speaking for me. I have yet to, in my life experiences, meet someone who has the right touch. And when I say the right touch, I mean how much pressure, when to apply the pressure. It's just, and I don't be feeling like I'm running no damn Votic. I mean, it's not hard. But most men are way too heavy handed.
Mm,
And it may be just because I'm more sensitive, because I don't really have to touch myself, and I never ever use toys. Ever, never,
mm.
never. So it's sensitive. Like if I put on a pair of jeans that's too tight and take about 20 steps, it might go down. So um so it's I don't, I just think of a bull in a china shop. You know that expression?
Hmm.
Yep.
That's how I feel about that from somebody
Okay.
else. Like, no, you gonna get down there and mess up something. Don't even worry about it. Let's do it.
Mm.
Let's do other stuff.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I get it. I get it. So for me to answer, so I didn't answer the
I was
question.
about to say,
So
what about you?
for
Hmm.
me, I prefer to do it alone, um, or someone do it for me. I get disinterested in sex with someone if I have to do that in front of someone. And I'm saying that because of my experience when I was younger, when I got caught and I had to deal with that degrading moment. That that has unknowingly, that has had a lasting psychological effect on me, to where it's like, I don't want you to watch me doing certain things, but it doesn't happen all the time. So my preference is to do it myself. I don't want to do it in front of anybody if I don't have to. Like I can a couple of strokes and then we gotta do something else. Or hey, if you got the hands of a goddess, by all means, do what you got to do. Then hey, it is what it is.
Okay. I so want to go back to when you got caught, but I'll leave. I'm gonna leave it.
What do you
I'm gonna
mean?
leave it because it's just so many things. But I am surprised to hear you say that, and I'm sorry that that was such a traumatic thing for you. But I don't know. I think it probably would have turned me on even as a youngster. Oh, you want to watch? Let me show out. It's literally how I would feel. You would let
Wait,
me
wait, wait,
show
wait,
out,
wait, 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 wait. Okay.
boy.
So you're saying if the parents busted in the room, you would have took that as a moment to shine?
Yeah. I'm just weird like that. And actually, this is gonna deviate just a second,
Hmm.
but it fits in here. I guess my kid gets it from me. So when he was probably 4 or 5, my best friend and her daughter were down visiting, and they're 4 and 5. They're the same age, a couple of months apart. Her daughter was born in March. My kid was born in July.
Hmm.
So we in there, playing cards, laughing, talking. They running around in the house. Then put a movie on in the living room. Just assume they were in there watching the movie. Go in there, and their clothes are on, but she is giving him the business. I mean, like ain't no tomorrow. My kid looks up, and I'm like, what in the world? And I call my best friend. I was like, girl, come in here and look at these kids. My kid looks up, looks at us, and it's probably about 3 or 4 of us. Decides that he's like, oh, y'all want to watch? Flips her over and goes to work. Wasn't no shame in his game. He wasn't embarrassed one bit. So I'm
Mm.
like, yeah, that's how I would have handled it. That he totally has his mama in him. But at the same, I mean, they got in trouble. We did get onto him, but um,
Mm.
I I think the only thing I wanted to know was, where did you learn that? Because we don't, we ain't doing that around this camp. So where did you learn that? And you know what he said?
What'd
I
he
didn't
say?
learn it from anywhere. She got on top of me, and then I got on top of her. I didn't learn it from anywhere. Oh,
She
okay.
she learned it from somewhere then.
Of course. And I told my best friend, what you been doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I would have definitely had the same reaction. Oh, y'all want to watch? Let me give y'all a show. Y'all better get some
Yeah.
popcorn.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
just,
guess I guess for me, I
just
honestly
me.
I was a shy child, so
Just
that was
shy.
traumatic for me. Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
was
toucha.
shy, but yeah, I couldn't.
Bet Bet you a whole deviant in the bedroom. Talking about you shy. Moving right along.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Exactly. Still talking about some you shy.
Oh
So, what are
man.
some of the
Is
common myths and
masturbation? Oh, go ahead.
what are some of the common myths and misconceptions surrounding masturbation?
Huh. There are plenty. Um, when it comes to physical, you have, oh, you're gonna go blind. You're gonna be
Desensitized.
desensualized. Uh, you're gonna bite your tongue off. You're gonna chip your teeth.
Oh, don't forget
Uh,
the hairy palm.
yeah, the hairy palms. Um, you're gonna uh, you're gonna get a mental illness. It's a lot of crazy things out there.
So I don't know if it was just me and the people I grew up around, but there were no misconceptions or myths around masturbation for females. It, it
Mm.
it was all geared toward boys. It was like
Yeah,
females
yeah,
didn't do
yeah,
it.
yeah. Right.
It's all geared toward boys. So we were like, oh, that's a boy disease. Well,
Mm-hmm.
girls don't do that. So some of the boys do. So I think that was the misconception is people assume that males do it more than women. And I think that they misconceive that girls start doing it way early, like
Mm.
way early. I know someone who caught their 10-year-old little girl
Mm-hmm.
working it out, working it out.
Mm.
When asked, "What are you doing and why are you doing that?" her response was, I had a hard day at school. That was her answer. I had a hard day at school. So even her at 10 understands it's a stress relief, is what I told them because they was livid.
Wow.
She had a hard day at school. So I think the misconception surrounding masturbation is it's mainly little nasty boys. Them little mannish boys is in there rubbing on themselves, and girls do it just as much, just as early, if not more.
Mm.
I think women. I think female. Um, I think they are more curious about their bodies than males. So I think that the experimenting and the touching starts rather early.
Uh, to add to that, I think females have more to explore when it comes to their bodies as opposed to men. Um, our physical makeup when it comes to masturbation is just a lot different. I mean, you give us a little stimulation to our shaft to the head, add the right amount of friction, and pretty much that's it. There's not a whole lot of for most men, in my opinion, there's not a whole lot of mental energy spent behind satisfying. But with women, from what I understand and what I've experienced with women, y'all definitely have to have the right mindset. You definitely have the right touch, the right all the elements have to be aligned for women when they masturbate and for them to get there. And that also transfer when they're with a partner. If and that's why some women, when they're with their partner, the sex could be good, but women might have to take that minute to 5 minutes or whatever before or after to masturbate in order to get to where they need to be. Because again, that man could be an expert swimmer, but he might not hit that spot.
Mm,
I agree.
definitely. I'll say that I believe it has a lot to do with just the touch itself. Um, for men, of course, we have one general area that we are very
So
sensitive
easy.
in, but I believe for women, it's it's kind of like one of those things where they like, you know where my spot is. And that
Hmm.
could be damn near anywhere for a woman. That could be her neck, that
Yep,
could be
that
her
could be the
back.
back of her knee.
Yep.
Hmm.
Just if you kiss right there, just lick right there on the back of this
Yeah.
knee. You know right where it being. Yeah, child, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
that
think
is
it's
true. Women have way more of a playground to play on than men.
Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
So
But when
But
it comes to other misconceptions, there's the misconception of and it can go both ways. Mental disengagement with your partner. Um, and I guess it depends on how much a person masturbates or how they feel about their partner. Because as you were saying, you look, I don't want you to touch me. I'm good because it could be the way he woke up that morning and I'm gonna go ahead and rub that out and it's like whatever.
the
Um,
fingers, the fingers.
and then for men,
I'm sorry. Just caught me off guard. Oh yeah, that's how they work. Bad.
but but here's the crazy thing, because when it comes to mental disengagement, we have that same thing too with our women. Like our woman
Hmm.
could be laying there, in that position with the one leg cocked up and the butt cheek look good. You just want to roll over and tap it. She half sleep or playing sleep, and you just be like, I'm
Playing
gonna rub that
sleep.
out. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, it it depends. Mental disengagement can be a real thing, although it's listed as a myth,
It's not a myth though,
and it's
son.
one of them.
I just think that when it comes down to that mental disengagement, it's for me. I would have to say that it's like I just don't want the drama of someone else touching me.
That one, that
That's the
part.
same thing Phoenix was saying
That's
earlier.
I just don't want the drama right now. I
I
just
don't
want
want it.
give
I don't want
me
that. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Exact. I don't know. That's the perfect thing because that's exactly what it is. You ever just be like, nah, not today. I ain't got time today. I'm
yeah,
straight.
yeah, yeah.
And it's
Mm.
just, and then sometimes it's for me. It's I gotta put the time in to do the foreplay. I gotta take the time to be cuddled up. I got to. It's a production.
It is. It really
I
is.
don't got time for that. Like
Mm.
all this just to get to the punchline. I got to do all this. I'm tired. I don't want to do all that. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Mm.
Let me roll over here and mind my business for about 10 minutes, and I ain't got to warm me up or nothing. So
Why would you want to climb the mountain to get to the promised land when you know how to get there directly?
exactly. I don't gotta get no walking stick. I don't gotta fill
Oh
up
my.
no jug of water to take a
Yeah.
journey.
Mm-mm.
It's all right here
Oh
at the bottom of
man.
the mountain. It's right
Mm.
here.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
So
So when it comes to society, with this, do you feel discussing this openly with your friends or associates now, son? So Lex said as a teenager he did. Me as a teenager, no. As an adult, it's fair game. What about you, Phoenix?
what? I'm sorry. Say it again.
As far as talking about this among your friends and associates, is that like something that's just another conversation?
Yes, and it's been like that since I was 17.
Okay.
Um, I think maybe women are more prone to discuss it because it's
Yeah.
nothing to us. It's
Yeah.
not. I mean, it's girl. Did you try this? You on the internet, you seen the roles. You seen how the roles took over the internet.
Yeah.
Females was calling other female, girl, you ain't got that thing. You better get that thing, girl. I
Mm.
2-3 times. And I think that because masturbation is not a taboo thing with women, like it is with men, we have no qualms about talking about it, even from our early age. Um, even my set of friends when we were young, we talked about it. A young adult. Now we all talk about it, and
Right.
the older we get, the more we like. I would just rather masturbate. I don't got time for that other shit. It's just like, I'm just gonna let y'all in on that little secret.
Yeah.
As it progresses, most women are like, nope. I'm just gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna say I'm not horny and I'm gonna take care of me and then I'm gonna go to bed. I don't got time.
I got a
Earl,
headache.
you wanna play? Earl, you wanna
Uh,
play?
mm, mm,
I'm
mm,
fix us some dinner and I'm so tired. I've just been tired all day. I'm just gonna fix dinner and we gonna go on to bed. I ain't got no energy to do nothing.
yeah. Um,
Whole time you in your mind talking to yourself about how you gonna tear you up, girl. I'm gonna tear you up tonight. Just saying.
oh man.
I'm just
Um.
saying.
So before we move on, I want to throw out some stats out there that I found online. I mean, I don't know how valid these stats are, and I forgot to see how old they were. Um, but it says 14 to 17-year-olds, 74% of men masturbate and 48% of women masturbate, and between the ages of 57 and 64, 63% men and 32% women masturbate. What are your
All right.
thoughts
Come
on that?
across that again. Come across that again.
Okay. From the ages of 14 to 17 years old,
Mm-hmm.
74% men masturbate compared to 48% women. And from the
Mhm.
ages of 57 to 64, 63% of the men masturbate and 32% of the women masturbate.
Wow.
I think that it's much higher in the older women. I'm gonna agree with the younger
Hmm.
women, and it's just because when we're blooming and coming into women, we want the meat. We ain't
Mm.
got time for no fingers. We want the meat.
Right.
Um, as we get older, we don't want it as much.
Hmm.
You got to think about it. Most women start having sex between 16 and 17, and 16 to what was the ages? 50 to 60 or something like that.
57 to 64.
Think about all that. It's way harder on a woman's body than me. Y'all want to fold us up like pretzels. Y'all want us to bend over and y'all want us to it's sex is, like I said, it's a production. So as we get older, I think it's more of a I ain't got time. So I think the numbers of masturbation are actually higher in women, because I'm gonna tell you right now, every single one of my female friends does it dang near every day.
Wow.
And
Staggering.
they are married and they have great sex lives with their partners. It's just
Mm,
we talk about it all the time, and out of 10 of us, 9 of us is an everyday thing, at least once a day.
mm, mm. It's interesting.
Hey.
Yeah, because I don't know. I go through my periods when I feel like I need to masturbate. Um, and I go through periods where mentally I need it, but physically I'm like, I'm not doing that. Because one thing I found in the last, I want to say 3, 4, 5 years, masturbating, although it relieves stress and all that other stuff, sometimes it's frustrating to me because I feel like, man, I could have. It's a mind battle because I say I would have rather had been having sex, but then at the same time, I ain't want that drama that we was talking about. So I mean, sometimes I just be like, you know what, I'm not. Just lay down.
I don't want the drama.
That's just it. And it's not even necessarily the drama. Like I said, it's just everything that goes with it. It's just so much that goes
Mm,
with it. And again, if you ain't mentally trying to, you've been at work all day, your shoulders tense, your booty hole is puckered, you just want to relax. You mean to tell me
oh my
that
goodness.
you want to come in and take a shower and eat and then go in here and gotta lickety lick 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 for 15 minutes. Then,
Mm,
kiss on the neck and in the back and rub you down and get you primed and primed. Do you want to do all of that for 10 minutes of what you really call yourself going in there to do?
mm,
Because you tired. You've been at work all day. It's 10 minutes, 20 tops. You didn't have to do 45 minutes of foreplay just to get 10, 20 minutes. When
All
you
right.
yeah.
can literally be like, I have had a long day,
Mm,
and I
yeah.
mean a long day, and all you want is 3 minutes. That's it. 3 minutes.
That I
That's it.
could have.
Exactly my point. So
Yeah.
I don't think that I would ever be frustrated about that. See,
Mm,
and what you talking about, it falls on there on the lines of them people to be talking about you raping yourself, talking about so physically I want to do it, but mentally I'll be like, no, I ain't gonna do it. Then you mess
see, there
around
you
in the middle
go.
of the night and you
No.
done touch yourself under the cover, rape.
You're going too far.
You said no.
And nah. I look at it like this. It's one of those things where it's be like, you want to masturbate? I got a headache.
Yeah, so silly. You silly soul toucher. But
That's
I
how I
mean,
take
just
that.
for me, it's just like I said, a stress relief. So once I get that stress off, my mind is clear. Um, I my skin is glowing. I'm more open to uh being relaxed and focused on my home life, because that's usually
Hmm.
where you do it at.
Right.
I'm also I can either the crazy thing is I can either masturbate for rest and sleep, or I can masturbate for energy.
Hmm.
Um, and that's another thing. sex doesn't make me sleepy. Sex gives me energy, and then I'm up doing fucking projects in the middle of the night. So,
Don't
whereas most
masturbate at
people
night,
do it,
folks.
no,
Wow.
it's not. No, it's sex. It's the
Oh.
act of sex. I don't get tired. I get energy, and then I be up, breaking walls and trying to pull up
Mm.
floors, and I got a project in my head. It
Damn,
actually
Super
does the
Saiyan.
opposite. It's just um, but masturbation is one of the relaxing things. Is masturbation healthy? I think so. Again, it's a great stress. It is a sexual release. It is a mental release. I think that it's when done correctly, because some people masturbate to some real unhealthy images
Mm.
in their head. So
Yeah. Yeah.
when
We gonna keep it
it
on
is done
the
healthy,
healthy part.
yeah.
That's what we gonna
So
do.
I think that it unlocks all your chakras, so
Mm.
you have a balance.
I'm not into
But
chakras, but I
y'all's
understand.
girl Phoenix has to get out of here. I have a prior engagement. So I am going to be dipping out a little early. The fella's gonna hold it down. I'm
Yes.
gonna come back, and you all can tag me in it if I need to correct them on something that they got wrong on the women aspect. Y'all know I will gather them up.
Oh my gosh.
But as always, thank y'all for listening and coming out and checking us out. We appreciate everyone. We out here in these social media streets, the King and I Life podcast. Peace, love, and hair grease. I'll see y'all next time.
All right. Phoenix is departing
Later.
us, but we're gonna keep this conversation going, and definitely she will be back on the next one. So, moving along. What are some of the stigmas surrounding masturbation?
Oh, shaming.
Yeah. Shaming. Now, this is a cultural thing, and I want to say shaming is more prevalent in. But I'm not even going to say culture. It's an age thing, and I think shaming is more prevalent in age groups where it's adolescent to teenagers. I mean, because at that age, a lot of people just don't understand the significance of it, and they don't want to be shamed themselves, but they're quick to shame someone else. But
Hmm.
hey, I- yeah, it's one of those things, man.
Yeah, I think that the whole shaming thing is it kind of goes back to generations, what generation you come from. I know with our particular generation, when we were coming up, um, adults did not talk about sex openly
Hmm.
amongst kids whatsoever. Unless they're your mom, they talking in code and shit.
Yeah.
But nigga, I know what you're saying. Anyway, from that older generation, they just you dare not to talk about adult things in front of them, especially not masturbation. So
Right.
even if they heard you talking, not even in a derogatory aspect of your conversation, they will
Hmm.
get on to you about it.
Yeah.
So that whole shaming thing nowadays, I just don't see the benefits of it because pretty much you see sex everywhere,
Yeah.
including television and
Yeah. Yeah.
movies,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so that whole shaming thing, I think, is kind of dead in the water, as they say.
Yeah. And to add on to that, the shaming thing is so crazy these days because, yes, I mean, back then it was such a thing where parents really didn't talk to their children about that because I think the only sex conversation that my mother had with me was you better not uh, get nobody pregnant, and that was pretty much it. In high school, But yeah, you're right. As has gone on, sex is everywhere, and porn is so easily accessible now that those sexual desires are just bam way out there, and it's like, hey, well, to relieve yourself, you touch yourself because hey, you might not be at a place in your life where you are willing to have actual sex or something like that, or hey, that's just what you're doing at the moment.
Right.
um so the next thing is lascivious, which is the feeling or revealing an overt or often offensive sexual desire. um I'll say this: for a long time, with masturbation being taboo, uh way back in the days, way before our time, it was looked at as, you know just to make it simple, it was nasty, it was forbidden, and you had to be thinking something that was just not natural to the common person for you to be doing that. But then that
Right.
goes back to the shaming thing, to where it's like, how dare you, or how dare anyone shame another person and try to define it as um overt or offensive when everybody was doing it. Well, not a lot of people were doing it.
Right. I think that kind of goes back to perhaps your childhood, meaning, the way you were raised and conditioned, um, to a certain extent. Because I remember being like 13, and my neighbor, of course, living in a military complex, they were a different culture,
Hmm.
and I'll leave it at that. But they had just such an open and, I don't know, truthful conversation with their kids, and their kids about my age.
Hmm.
One was 13, the other one was like maybe 14 or 15. But they had no shame about discussing, things along that nature in front of their kids.
Hmm.
They were those type of parents that, I guess you could say, believed in letting their kids express themselves.
Right.
So, when it came down to like desires and stuff, um, I don't know. I just, me personally, at that age, I found it very refreshing that here you got these adults who are willing to engage, or at least hear their kids out when it comes down to what they desire sexually. But
Yeah.
anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's important. Yeah. Moving on. Religious. It was considered spilling seed. Um, and that would be looked at as a bias towards men, as opposed to women.
All right.
But as I keep saying, I'm not one of those religious Nazis. I think the stigma and the bias when it comes to religion is it's just weird. It's weird to me because religious people are human. They have desires. Um, and to me, just to sum this up, because I don't want to go deep in the woods. I
Right.
think I think for that, I think it's weird to force yourself not to engage in things that you were created to do. So when it comes to masturbation, it's like, if if it's there for you to satisfy yourself, then that's what it is. So now I'll just leave it at that.
I understand. I just feel like, coming from that aspect of it, meaning religion, when it comes down to spilling your seeds as a young man, I think we were more prone to doing that, meaning, uh, at a younger stage in your life, you masturbated more, you had sex more. But now that and this again, just for me, that I'm older, I get that idea
Mm-hmm.
how important it is not to uh, waste your seed. Because believe it or not, there's a lot of energy that's um, wrapped up and consumed with, our seeds.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than physical, more than mental. It's in energy that we expel. So every time you bust a nut or release your seed, you are releasing an energy out into the world that's basically useless when it could be used for other means, meaning reproduction. But I'll leave it at that.
Well, that depends on your reproductive goals. And I'll leave that at there because we can go down a rabbit hole on that one.
No, right?
So, let's talk about some of the benefits of masturbation. When it comes to benefits, um, you have to look at whether it's with a partner or not. With or without a partner, uh, as we were discussing earlier, it releases stress. It brightens your mood. It calms your nerves. Um, it is said that it boosts your immune system. Um, we talked about it enhancing your sleep quality. Um, One thing I didn't know that I looked up was it relieves menstrual cramps, and that is interesting to me.
Yeah, that I never knew. um, I would definitely have to stand with it helping you to relieve stress. It takes some of the pressure up off of you.
Hmm.
Um, I had a friend of mine. She said every time before she went to go take a test of some sort, that's what she would do.
Oh wow!
And she said for some reason it really helped her to calm down and to kind of be mellow. And she got better grades behind it.
Wow.
So I could see how it helps some people from that aspect.
Hmm. Sabrina says it can also induce labor.
Wow.
I was waiting for your response on that.
Wow.
I was waiting for
I
your
never
response on
knew
that.
that.
Um, you know what? I never knew that, but being that she put that out there, um, I can somewhat see it. Because some women, when they masturbate, sometimes they have a much harder orgasm. Um, well, more intense. Let me put it that way. A
All
more
right.
intense orgasm. Um, what the one thing that does come to my mind though is that woman or those women who can masturbate to induce labor, they have they must be and mental geniuses to focus on masturbating and dealing with labor pains. I look, that's all I can say on
I guess that's one of those hurt so good
that.
type of scenarios because I honestly never do that. I'm thrown back by that.
Yeah, I would have never put those
That
two together
is
at
wild.
all.
Not in a
At
million
all.
years.
I would have never ever put those two together. Definitely a Jedi mind trick, and that is definitely
Hmm.
something that us men do not or cannot acquire. That is one Jedi mind trick that is
Yeah,
outside of our reach.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm.
You have to be on Mother Earth
Yeah.
doing on that plane right there.
So let's talk about some true side effects to masturbation. When you think of true side effects, what comes to your mind?
I had to say pornography, because some people just really overdo it with the damn porn.
Mm,
Like, there's some people who just can't get there without the assistance of porn, and I'm like, if you need porn to help get you there, to each their own, no judgment, but you might have a problem.
mm.
But again, it's just one of those things, Again, not everybody's built the same.
Yeah. So, I did a little bit of research, not researched. Um, and most of the side effects, true side effects that I came with were more relatable to men.
Mhm.
And in the top ones that I found were chafing or tender skin if they're too rough. Some of us like to do that grip tight and um, yeah. So yeah. Another one is swelling. If you do it so much in a short span of time, completely understand that. I mean, if you're doing that like 2, 3, 4 times a day, one, you have a problem. Two, that is the equivalent of going to the gym 6 times a day and like pushing up 250 pounds, just going, 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 going. Unhealthy, unhealthy. Um, Another side effect is guilt. Depending on your religious uh, background or whatever the case may be, you may have guilt with religion, spiritual or cultural beliefs. Understandable,
Yeah.
because those guilts are not always religious in nature. Because I know there's plenty of times I've whacked one off, and the old lady want to get some meat, and it's like, damn. I couldn't wait. I had to, and it's like some people be like, well, yeah, you got to get that first one out, then you can go. And like sometimes at a certain age, you get that one out, and it's like, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm
Game over.
good. Um, Here's an interesting one though:
All right.
decreased sexual sensitivity. And for those who don't understand that, that is when you know the penis is a delicate yet fickle item. And what I mean by that is it really does not take a lot of friction when you're masturbating to be satisfied. Um, and then you also have to take into consideration when you're with a woman, they feel different. Now, you may be used to a certain amount of pressure and friction with your woman that is satisfying. Now, when you are masturbating and you put a different type of friction on it, you start getting used to that. That woman is not tight enough for you. So that can cause that type of issue there.
Yeah, that would definitely signal a problem if you're asking or needing that same type of grip um, to help get you there. So it's kind of like you're living in that fantasy world where you have this aspect or this idea of, again, you know how to please you,
Right.
so you know what kind of pressure to apply to help get to that sensation. So when you are with your mate and they can't give you that same sensation, then you kind of setting them up for failure.
Yeah. Setting your whole
Because
situation up for failure.
yeah, because you want them to take you somewhere where only
With
you can take you.
Right, because that is something that you created. And to piggyback off you saying talking about the porn, I think the the introduction of excessive porn when you masturbate is a problem with that because our mind uh gathers these images in different type of ways. And when you watch different type of porn all the time, you have to take into consideration you are mentally putting yourself with different women, and, how they're performing on screen. You try to adjust your masturbating to what you think that woman feels like, and that woman is not going to feel like your woman. So you are really setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, because the thing about it is, again, when it comes down to porn, these are professionals, paid professionals. let's be real about it.
Let's
They
just
are
call them
paid
paid actors because a
professionals.
lot of them ain't
Yes.
professional.
Okay, gotcha. Because some of them suck at it. But anyway, um, again, the thing about it is, you're living in that fantasy world,
Hmm.
so you're expecting for your mate to perform how that person in the porn is performing, um, whatever that may be. But
Right.
again, there are levels to this.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
some mates, they just aren't capable of going there.
Hmm.
So again, you constantly taking in this porn, and you're expecting for your mate to be able to do those tricks and double backflips, as they say,
Yeah.
um, and they're just not there, and they're never gonna get there because perhaps they don't even watch porn.
Or they don't even know what you're doing that's creating this divide in your sex life. I mean, yeah, you just can't. You have to do things within reason.
Right.
Just got to. So the next thing is prostate cancer. This is unverified. Let me tell you, this is unverified. Um, I think the next time I go to my physical, which should be next month with my doctor, I'm going to ask her about prostate cancer in terms of masturbation, because I would really be curious to see if there have been further studies and documented data as to whether masturbation causes prostate cancer. Because in my brain, if masturbation causes prostate cancer, then I'm also going to think sex causes prostate cancer, because technically it's the same thing to me.
True. And that's funny you would say that, because I've heard the opposite, that uh, doctors actually encourage you to masturbate because it lessens your chance of getting cancer. But
Hmm.
again, this is something I heard. It's not something I
Right.
actually took the time to look up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask my doctor that. And the last thing on side effects that we'll talk about is disruption of daily life. Um, Sometimes when people get excessive, they'll miss work, they'll miss school, they'll miss social events. It may interrupt daily functioning. Um, let's just say, you at work and you just like, I got to get away for a minute. And it's like you interrupting what you should be doing during the day to get that off. Um, I'm not even going to front. It's been a couple of days when I've been at work and I'm be like, yo, I look, I'm just not there. I gotta go get this off. And sometimes I've been able to do it, sometimes I haven't. And the other thing is when people do it to escape from relationship issues, which is something that we kind of mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, when you reach a place where you miss work, you miss life events, and things along that line, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say it's a good problem, but it's a problem.
Yeah.
Because at that point, your focus of reality is distorted, heavily distorted,
Hmm.
because you rather be there doing that, uh, which again I think is part mentally, half physically.
Hmm.
Um, you rather be doing that than taking care of your day to days. So I
Right.
think somewhere, somehow along the line, for people who are at that level, um, there's just going to be some type of pushback in your life. I can't say what that's going to be, but again, you're taking yourself out of the necessary spaces you need to be in at a certain time to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man.
But I don't know. Where does where do we cross the line? Like, how much is too much?
Um Gosh. That's hard to say, and I guess it's situational. I I would say too much. Going back to when you're disrupting daily life, I think that's too much. But then at the same time, right? Who defines when enough is enough when it comes to that? Who defines what's crossing the line? I
Right.
would say crossing the line would be in public, um, especially when there are, when you're disrespecting the space of other people. I think that's crossing the line. I think that's too much, because I think masturbation is a private thing that you should do on your own, in your private wherever, or with your partner in a private space. So I think that's, for me, that's crossing the line, and that's when it becomes too much.
I agree. I mean, the thing about it is, um, when you're engaged in something like that, you really should have your own privacy.
Yeah.
But there are some people, I get it, that for some particular reason, again, no judgment from me, they
Hmm.
want to have an audience.
Yeah.
It adds to the excitement for them.
Yeah.
And there are places where you can do that.
There are places for that.
So being out, in the open where there are kids and, families and things along that nature, that's definitely taking it too far. You are
Right.
way past, the line of, safe zone.
Right.
You
Right.
talking about
Right.
taking your ass to jail zone.
Exactly.
But
That's voyeurism. Yep.
yeah,
Thank you
so
for that. I was thinking of the word. I couldn't think of it at the moment. But yeah, that's voyeurism. And that's, to me, that's just, sometimes that's just a bit much. Um, yeah, at the end of the day, you gotta respect you. It's a time and a place for everything.
definitely.
And I think people who violate that common sense line of respect, they have issues. Something is wrong with them, and I don't think, and I'm not saying it's a mild something wrong. I think something is seriously wrong with people who do that. Um, yeah, it's just that's weird. That's weird to me.
Yeah. Again, for me, if I'm gonna engage in something like that, it's within the confine of my own personal space, and it's definitely not gonna be in a spot where my black behind is going to jail. I'm not finna
Yeah,
do that.
I ain't catching no case for that.
Heck
And
no.
again, especially from my childhood experience, that I just wouldn't be out there like all in the public, like, nah, not doing that,
Yeah.
not doing that, man. No. So,
Eventually, you will get caught up.
any versus outie, male or female. So, when we're talking about any versus outie, um, women have more options when it comes to things like this, of this nature. When I think this market has been more geared towards women, because they have plenty of toys that they can place inside of them, that they can use outside of them. Um, that for I would say for men like us, it's
Hmm.
more acceptable than some of the any toys that are out there for men, because I'm not into anal beads. I'm not into butt plugs. I'm not into any of that stuff like that for masturbation. Um, I have another funny story when it comes to masturbation. When I went to Iraq, I had a pocket pussy. That's what we'll call it.
Okay.
It was a long tube with the outside was like a vagina. Well, yeah, whatever, and you had to put lube in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my thing for the first 6 months to get my sexual desires off, my mental, all of that. It worked all of that. But the problem was it was not suitable for my girth. And it ripped probably like the third time I used it. And that just wasn't the thing for me no more. I had to throw it away because it was like I was I literally felt myself being desensitized by doing that because it's like I'm in Iraq, I can get my head blown off at any day, and I just
Mm-hmm.
want to spill all the seeds I can because I have no options out there. So it was like, yeah, um, but yeah, women have a lot more options when it comes to any and outy, devices and stuff like that.
Yeah, I again agree with you. I'm sorry, but the truth is the truth, right? So, I feel like there are more options for women because women have more trigger spots on their body.
Hmm.
Um, that's just my opinion. But as far as um, the males aspect of it, I've never, indulged in, having a tool to assist me.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Maybe I could be missing out. I don't know. I just never went there. But I do have some associates who have talked about using similar devices as the
Hmm.
first one you said there. Um, and again, more power to them. Who am I to tell you that not to use something like that? But the crazy part about that is the technology nowadays has gotten so advanced.
Bruh, we
Like,
about to get into that in a minute.
oh, okay, all right. I'll start right there. I'll start right
Nah,
there.
just go ahead, just roll with it. Just
But
roll with
from
it.
what one of my associates was telling me, he was like, "It's so real. Like the feel of this device. I'm gonna say,
Hmm.
keeping it clean. It feels so real."
Hmm.
He was like, "You damn near can't tell the difference." And there are some larger devices
Full
that are,
size.
yes, full size, that again I, I again I can't speak on it because I never used one, but they tell me that it feels just like the real thing, if not better,
Lifelike.
because they get to skip drama that goes along with the real thing.
Mm.
um from what I heard, the prices can be kind of
Bruh.
fast.
Bruh.
Like you can go from anywhere from like $50 up to a few thousand, if not
Mm.
more. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I can't speak on it
yeah.
from that aspect.
Um, so with that being said, that's
Hmm.
kind of like I guess I would classify that as the mechanical assistive devices.
Hmm.
Um, and quite honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. I for a long time was jealous because women had a whole lot more options than us, and their options like off the hook. Like they got the ones that you can suction cup to the wall and this, that, and the other, and it's like for us, it's like I can't even compete with that. Um, and and to go back to what you were saying, back in the day, it was that rubber blow up doll that was in this position like this.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, who do for me as a grown man masturbating, that could not keep me turned on or focused because I'm looking at this thing that's like this, and
Yeah.
And then it's a rubber blow up doll. So it's like
Mhm.
you lay on top of it. It's like no matter how much air you put in that thing, it's going to deform. And it's like, no. But then, you move to, you got that, I call it a chunk, where it's the vagina, probably about this much, about 2 inches of leg portion. And then it's like the belly button is like about like that. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, but don't really think I can really get into that. And yeah, now they have the life size, full size ones that could run you anywhere from 3, 4, 10, 15 grand.
Yeah.
I'm not spending that type of money on a device to masturbate with. I'm not doing it.
I
I'm not
mean, but
doing it.
there are some individuals, as crazy it is, that have actually signed up to marry their
Stop. I'm not
devices.
doing that right now. I'm not doing that right now.
I'm just saying.
I
Just saying.
understand. Look, dude, dude. I I saw something. I don't remember if it was on Netflix or what.
Strange love.
I think it might have been Strange Love, but this dude was talking about having sex with a car,
Yes, I saw that one. I saw that one.
sticking his penis in the exhaust pipe. I'm like, dude, ugh,
Yeah,
ugh,
yeah.
ugh. Um,
Moving on.
yeah. So we got some other devices. Animals.
Oh, oh man.
Yo.
I'm gonna leave that one out there. Only thing I will say about that is I couldn't see doing it. I couldn't see the benefits of it. I personally have my own thoughts about that, but hey, people are going to jail for that shit. So
Dude, yeah, it's called bestiality.
okay.
For the life of me, I mean, I heard, I don't know how true this was, but a long, 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 long time ago, I heard a story about a man and a horse, and the horse punctured his anal cavity, because I don't know the scientific name for it, and
Hmm.
he perished
I bet
from
it.
that. Yeah, yes, it's very crazy, but
It is.
I don't see I don't understand. I don't I don't
I don't.
understand the whole I just can't formulate the thoughts. I'm like, where does that thought start? How does it start? How do you I don't want to understand it because it's
No,
crazy. I mean,
hell
if you
no.
have a sexual desire, just go pleasure yourself or be with a willing participant. Period. I understand that the mind is a terrible drug.
It is. It is.
Um,
And some people are very delusional, putting it kindly, because what in the world are you supposed to get from having um, intercourse with an animal?
Yuck, yuck. Um,
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
what about vegetables? Um, you know, some women could take a kielbasa, um, a sausage, a banana, a cucumber, a squash, um, eggplant, zucchini. Um, I, zucchini is the yellow one, right?
Voodoo. It occurs.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm not doing that. But I guess for women, I can understand it more if they use vegetables that are phallic in nature, meaning they are in the shape of a penis.
Mm-hmm.
A cucumber is kind of a sturdy type of vegetable. Banana, of course, inside the peel, but that stubby end might scratch you up on the inside. But other than that, I can't see me as a man. Like, what would I do? Hump a bowl of mashed potatoes? Like, help me understand here.
There's only one fruit I can think of that a man could even think about using, but I'm not even gonna go there.
No, I got to hear
But
this.
I've heard of some people using watermelons. Uh, Again, that's what I heard. But anyway,
You
back on
killing
track.
you killing me right now.
For women who use vegetables, I get it.
Hmm.
You know, um, I think it kind of like if let me put it to you like this: if you had a female who's using all kind of vegetables,
Hmm.
it's kind of like how do you compete with that? You
You
know
know
what I
what?
mean? Like
Yeah.
if you find one of them, um, things like what you gonna do with that? How do you even think about competing with that? You
See,
can't.
I have to respond to that.
All right, go ahead,
Um,
break that one down.
because as men, we have this thing in our brains to where we are convinced that if something is of a greater size than we are, we can't compete with said item. But you have to understand that the female body is resilient and adaptable. And as long as it's not overused, there's no such thing as competing with anything. Now, she may throw a 10-inch cucumber up in her. Most women are not taking that whole cucumber. I think the biggest thing that a woman will have going through that canal is a baby. Um, and that's not even on a consistent basis, and that's not pleasurable for most women. So when you're thinking about a cucumber, it's like, damn, that's big, but that's not her regular. Just like, sometimes when you watch porn and you like, damn, she got a horse. Well, that might be her regular because that's her job. But the average woman, when it comes to her masturbating with vegetables of a greater length than us, it's not something that we need to mentally try to decode because it doesn't apply to us like that.
The thing about it is, again, we're talking about the female body is designed to wrap around whatever she is engaged with,
Right.
um, putting it mildly. But there are some females, their bodies do not come back to that conformity.
That's because they're doing it too
It's
much.
just a fact. It
They
doesn't come
doing it
back
too
to that
much.
conformity. And again, no judgment on me, but that's just what it is.
Mm.
We'll move on.
Yeah. They wetting that whistle too much with that thing. Um, so let's talk about laws.
Yeah.
Are they prudent? um Now, we spoke about masturbating in public and stuff like that.
Hmm.
When it comes to that, yes, laws are prudent because again, when it comes to masturbation, there's look, do it in the confines of wherever you are. You don't need to be out there in public masturbating in front of kids. Just respect people's places and their desire to be in a public space comfortably. There's no need to violate that. Back in the day, long time ago, it was looked frowned upon as something was mentally wrong with you or whatever the case may be. Religiously, it was out of context for you to masturbate. And, you know, that was a problem. Um, so I mean, that's what it was.
I mean, there are so many different aspects when it comes down to the law, um, and this particular subject. I mean, I'm not going to get into all of them, but again, the main one of doing that in public, um, again, where there's a family environment or a certain space,
Hmm.
the laws. Some may say that they're too strict, and some may say that they're not strict enough. So it's kind of like one of those fine wires. Me personally, I think that anyone caught in that situation, you get what you get.
Yeah.
So if the law prosecutes you to throw the book at your behind, then that's just what the law does.
Right.
But again, I would think that some people have enough sense to have enough respect for
Yeah.
themselves
Yeah.
and others not to do that
Yeah.
in certain environments.
Yeah. And I mean, there's not much more I could say about that. Because back in Connecticut in the 17th century, masturbation was punishable by death. Um, in Sweden in 2013, um, let's look at the climate today. And anything can be considered sexual assault or sexual harassment, even if you have no, if even if you are minding your business, having a conversation with someone, looking at something, and you minding your business, somebody can be all nosy in your business, say, "Oh, I feel violated by what you're doing." Now, this particular case where this man in Sweden was cleared of sexual assault charges, he was masturbating on the beach. Um, and it was decided that his act was not directed towards any one person. But again, why are you doing this in public? That is for you to do in your own space and just respect other people's, you know, just respect other people. Like it's too easy to me. Too
Yeah,
easy.
definitely. I mean, I get the whole European thing where they have, adult beaches,
Adult swimming pools.
adult resorts.
I mean, because when we was in Germany, there was a swimming pool in Mannheim where after a certain time you had to be butt ass naked. So it was like that. And
Yeah.
if you wasn't, you had to get out. And that
Mhm.
goes for lottie dottie everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, man. I think this was a good conversation, man. What you think?
Yeah, I definitely think it was. It's one of those adult conversations.
Yeah.
So anytime we can bring an adult conversation to the table and have fun with it and, not take it so seriously, I think that's a good thing.
Yes, indeed. I totally agree. Again, this is a conversation that I think it's good to have because a lot of us have children, and I know myself. I never had the masturbation conversation with mine. It was a conversation that I was like, I don't want to talk about that with my children, but it's a necessary conversation. So parents, please discuss this with your children. Let them know that it's not. There's nothing wrong with them. It's not bad, but talk to them about the realities of it, um, and let them know that they should not feel ashamed, and and don't do to them like I was done. Don't degrade them if you bust in a room and you see them whacking off or rubbing one out. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'll definitely say. Um, my advice would be have the conversation with the kids. I mean, we're at that point in society now where it's not so taboo
Hmm.
as it was when we were growing up. I feel like, and I know that um, at some point I'm gonna have to have that talk with my son.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't want him to feel like it's a bad thing. I just think it's one of those things you should have some type of self-control.
Mm. Yeah.
But again, there's so much sex in television, music, movies. I mean, the list goes on
Magazines,
and on.
commercials.
Heck yeah. So I just think that we, as responsible adults in this age and time, we need to have that conversation with our kids and just be done with it.
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier these days
Yeah.
with the sexualization of everything more than
Mhm.
what it used to be, and um, just all the craziness out there as well. So definitely have these conversations with your kids. Definitely make sure that you talk to them. You know, definitely the do's and don'ts. Um, definitely curtail them from having sex when they're not, mentally, physically, and emotionally ready for that, especially financially ready. So, you know, although we want our children to wait until they're at a certain age to do these type of things, but it's inevitable. We can't stop it. We were there once. Our parents were there once. So we just got to accept life for what it is. But definitely, it's a dope conversation. I'm glad y'all tuned in with the King and I Life podcast, hosted by myself, Soul Toucha the Poet, and my family,
Son Soul X and our
and
sister Phoenix.
who had to cut out early on us. But please let her know that we held it down and that she doesn't have to come and chop our heads off. Um, no pun intended. Um,
None.
Tune in next week because we have Miss Tina Torres with us from She Did That Events LLC. She's also a military brat. She went to school in Nuremberg, Germany. So definitely hit her up and let her know that you are looking forward to her coming on the King and I Life podcast to talk about community advocacy and domestic violence awareness. That's going to be a dope show, a very important conversation, and we're going to be promoting her Purple Gala, which is happening in October. So definitely in with us next week. Wednesday, we're going to be on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Sun So Lex, what else you got to say for the people?
Uh, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. And again, everybody for bearing with us as we, are away from our regular scheduled time on Wednesday nights. So we are returning back to that. So you guys tune back in for Wednesdays. Um, we have some other things that are in the works. Did you want to speak on that? You sent me that today, or you gonna hold off on that?
We're going to hold off on that one until it goes all the way through. But
Okay.
the one thing that I do want to chime on, we are trying to get our subscribership up. Um, if you have seen me in videos for the Ruck Company backpack, the Sling Pack and Solar Pack, go check out those videos. It's RUK um, uh, Solar Pack and Sling Pack. Go check out my videos that I've made for them. I have a link to where you can get a discount. That's going to help out the channel. Also, I'm going to get with my crew and we're going to talk about doing a giveaway to boost our subscribership. So stay on the lookout for that because our goal right now is to get 100 subscribers. That's our first goal right now. So we're almost there. So definitely get the people out there, bring them to the King and Our Life podcast. Definitely bring them next week. And definitely we want to talk about what y'all want to talk about. So shoot us your ideas at KINGANDEYE369 at gmail.com. That email address right there, right there, right there. That's all I have. Son Solex, what else you got for the people?
Uh, I don't know what's going on with these mics, but anyway, we just want to send a shout out to Chicken and Rice Podcast,
Yes, yes,
our
yes.
our fellow Manheim or family of the Army, Mr. Blake. He and his wife are doing big things over there. So you guys make sure you check out that Chicken and Rice. It's funny. They got some great topics. Their chemistry is just off of the chain. So check them out.
Yes, definitely check them out. Definitely check them out. They're funny. But with that being said, I have nothing else.
And good night, everyone, and have a good weekend.
Cue the outro.
That money clip us now, the new now looks like. Whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like. Whoa, 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 whoa. I hit recorded, drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it.